Wow. Wow, 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 wow. 1923 has been one of those shows that have been just so surprising, especially coming from Taylor Sheridan, who recently has been stumbling a bit with the likes of Yellowstone Season 5. With Season 5 being mostly just a bunch of mountain range shots, cowboy montages, and Beth versus Jamie storyline. 1923, on the other hand, has seemingly gone back to its roots of what made the show Yellowstone so great in the first place, which is protecting the ranch from the wolves. A simple story, but such a compelling one. And I think the reason that we as fans love this type of story is because it reminisces the tales of protecting loved ones. It's a rebellious fight against the changes, but not just against the changes of the world, but of progress of expansion. When most of us hear the tale of Native Americans getting their land stripped from them, yeah, we care and feel sympathy, but it's almost been so overdone that it can sometimes feel cliche. And this isn't a race thing either, so don't get it twisted. One of the reasons that we love this narrative that Yellowstone and 1923 spew is because Taylor Sheridan shows us what our characters see, how they view Montana, how they view their way of life. And in turn, we want them to succeed and win at the end of the day. And when they don't, their pain becomes our pain. It also helps that the characters he has fighting against progress are all extremely likable. Characters like Beth, Elsa, and Cara Dutton, all who bring their own strengths to the table, and who are all
strong female characters.
We love them because they're not perfect. We watch them struggle and come out champions. Not like whoever this character is supposed to be.
Eat it up. Go play okay, 3, 2, 1. You know I'm the hottest. You ain't never gotta hit me up.
Oh, you are way more fun than my last lawyer. I will kill for you, Megan Thee Stallion.
Dial it back.
Body, yaddy, yaddy.
They're flawed, which makes them relatable, which makes us like them. Taylor Sheridan also writes strong male characters like James, Spencer, and John Dutton, who have a level of stoicness about them, which leads them to get shit done, especially when things get hard. Hollywood writers believe that a stoic man is a toxic man, which is absolutely wild to me. Some characters don't have time to be emotional and cry about possibly losing the ranch.
A stoic man is a toxic man in the minds of Hollywood writers, whereas I see it as like a necessary survival skill throughout most of human history. You can't have everyone be high-strung, emotional idiots who just go to pieces the moment things start going wrong. There needs to be stoic people who can deal with problems logically and don't complain all the time about things.
Which is why 1923 is so compelling and perfectly executed. It tells a great story and has us enthralled throughout the entire way. And although at times things can get a little slow during the show, it's still able to keep its head above water. In 1923, we focus on one narrative. Well, technically two. The ranch being taken over by Donald Whitfield, set in motion by Banner Creighton. Whitfield is a sick bastard who wants the ranch because he believes that he can turn it into a tourist attraction, which I find very interesting as that's what Jamie is trying to do. A nice little reference and a reward for the die-hard fans such as myself. A Yellowstone connoisseur, you could say. They try to fight off the wolves as best they can against Banner and Whitfield, but they take major casualties. And with the loss of John Dutton Sr. by episode 4, the Dutton Ranch is in peril and in dire need of someone who is a direct descendant of James Dutton. This is where Spencer motherfucking Dutton steps in. I can't believe how well executed, how perfectly casted, how well written this character actually is. Absolutely perfect. Flaws and all, and especially Alexandra, who complements Spencer really well. Assuming that James willed the deed of the property to his children, and with John KIA, Spencer is their last hope. So, throughout the entire season, we are just anticipating Spencer reaching Montana to save the day. But by the end of season 1, things aren't looking too good for the Dutton family, as they become indebted to Whitfield. Spencer got thrown off the ship that was supposed to take him to London, then to the States, then back to the ranch. Getting kicked off the ship also caused him and Alex to get separated, which sucks because I was hoping that they were going to make it to Montana together. And the second storyline is the Tiona Rainwater storyline. But I'm not actually sure what the point of this storyline is, but at the end of the season, they were headed for the Comanche Reservation, which will be interesting because maybe we'll hear what happened to Sam, or maybe we'll even see an old man Sam, or at least what happened to him after the events of 1883. Again, though, I'm not actually sure how Tiona and her plotline are supposed to contribute to the Duttons and the ranch. It just seems that Taylor Sheridan threw this plotline in just so we can have a Native American plot. In 1883, it felt natural that they would meet Native Americans on their way to Oregon because, well, they're on the f***ing Oregon Trail. But I don't understand what the point of showing us what life was like for the Native Americans after the westward expansion. Don't get me wrong, these boarding school scenes are harsh and understandably heartbreaking, but what's the point, you know? I wouldn't give too much criticism to this plotline if there were going to be multiple seasons of this show, but there's only one more season, then it's on to 1944. I don't know, I'm just a little confused because I don't get it. My best guess is that it's mostly to add background for Thomas Rainwater and Yellowstone, but that's all I got. Taylor Sheridan did a tremendous job at setting up the stage for season 2. To recap, Spencer was separated from Alex after he killed the Duke of England's son, which, by the way, was extremely satisfying to see. It left Spencer and his storyline off on a high note, and left me excited to see more of Spencer and Alex in season 2, hopefully. I mean, I'm really crossing my fingers that it's not a Sam and Elsa reincarnation. The Duttons at the ranch are in a mighty fine pickle now that they are indebted to Whitfield, which is a bad thing. And for those who didn't understand it, is because they now have to pay off a large amount of money before the end of the year, or they will have to give everything they own to Whitfield, including the ranch. I thought this was a really great way to end the main plotline, again leaving it off on a high note and getting me excited for season 2. Tiona and her dad and that other guy are still being chased by the boarding school people, and I have a theory that the detective they hired is going to turn on the boarding school Catholics and make sure Tiona and her dad and boyfriend all escape. The detective has the idea to take the train to the Comanche Reservation and cut off Tiona, and that's where we leave off that storyline, but I don't know how it's going to contribute to the overall show and overall TSU, but I don't know, we'll see. Overall, season 1 was really good. I loved 1883 and I wanted to see more of that, so I'm glad we got somewhat of a sequel to it. Yellowstone season 5 has been mediocre at best. 1923 has reminded me why I fell in love with this universe in the first place. The action and the brilliant storytelling, it's why I hold Yellowstone in such a high regard, because I love this universe. And 1923 has been nothing short of extraordinary. And if you have been yearning for more Yellowstone, then I highly recommend that you watch 1923. Alright folks, that's all I've got for you for today. I will see you in next week's video, which will probably be the Creed 3 review. Alright, that's all I got. Until next time, peace!